Welcome into the show, everybody. My name is Mark Farzy. This is the Farzy Show, presented by Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. Let's just start it off with the absolute headline. No BS, no pleasantries, ladies and gentlemen. Let's cut right to the core. Darius Slay remains a member of the Philadelphia Eagles. What? Yeah, you heard me. You see this last night, 11:05. Okay, 11:05 last night when you just got done watching the Sixers. You're tucking yourself in at night. Darius Slay. So maybe you saw it. Maybe you're doing your final scroll of the day on the old Twitterverse, and you saw that Darius Slay remains with the Philadelphia Eagles. Slay tweeting out there, for the people on the podcast, I'll read aloud. Back like I never left, 3 exclamation points. Run it back, Eagles emoji. Welcome back to the pack, my friend. Great to see Darius Slay stay here in Philadelphia. And you know what? Slay's not the only Slay celebrating. Well, actually, she's a Williams. That would be Jen Williams, his wife, putting it out there. Hey, we here, baby. We here. How about that? How the hell's bells did we get here? And not only get here, but get to this point. As Jeff McClain put out last night as well, Darius Slay's reworked deal isn't expected to include new money and should help clear salary cap space for the Eagles this season, according to a source. Let's follow the bouncing ball for a second here. First of all, I'm ecstatic. I actually called this shot. Yesterday, I did not expect Darius Slay to get signed. Now, I said that during the show yesterday. As the day went on and I saw Darius Slay was expected to be released. That was the terminology. Expected to be released by the Philadelphia Eagles. And everyone was saying, oh, he's gone. He's released. He's gone. He's released. And then Darius Slay himself was even tweeting out a little bit, some cryptic things that could be read in there. He even tweeted out a thank you to Philadelphia. And we thought, well, this is it. Then we saw Jennifer Slay tweet out herself. Jennifer Williams put out there as well, saying that she was concerned that they're going to be leaving Philadelphia. I love Philadelphia. Philadelphia's amazing, right? And I'm thinking, I love Darius Slay. Oh, it's like Slay's hilarious. And also he's pretty good at football. I'm following the bouncing ball like you guys are. And then some hours passed since the news about Darius Slay being released, but there was no official release from the Eagles. Like there's usually the story gets reported, the story gets put out there, and then maybe 20, 30 minutes later, the Eagles post something on social media. Thank you, Slay. You're the man, Slay. That's one of our captains. Slay, you're the man. Love you. You're the best. You know, something like that. Nothing like that came out from the Philadelphia Eagles. So I was like, what the hell is going on here? And then you started to see Darius Slay tweet the eye emojis, like I'm looking at you or look at this, whatever. And then you saw Jennifer Williams put that out as well. The eyes emoji. And I'm thinking, everyone's tweeting out the eyes emojis right now. If you're not tweeting the eyes emojis, are you even tweeting? What the hell's going on? What am I looking for here? And then I thought, I swear to goodness sakes, and I even put this out and I tweeted it, right? I said, what if, let's just stay with me here for a second here. What if the Eagles are running the old end around play that they did with Fletcher Cox last year, where Fletcher Cox got released and then they brought him back on the 1-year, $14 million deal? What if they're doing that right now with Darius Slay? Now, the biggest difference is I think Fletcher Cox was in on the joke, so to speak. I think he was in on the story. I think the whole time they knew that they had to cut him, hit the reset button, then re-sign him to a different deal. And I think he was in on that joke. Fletcher Cox was in on that joke for the entire process. I don't think Darius Slay was in on this process the entire time. Otherwise, I don't think he'd be tweeting the way he was tweeting. I think he was told by the Eagles staff, look, we're going to still try to find a way to keep you. Go out there and you got to handle your business, and you got to see if you can get anything else on the open market. But if you really want to stay here, we really are working. We want to work on a deal to keep you here. And he's probably thinking, I've heard this talk before. The NFL is a business. Whatever. All right, that's great because I'd love to stay too. So hopefully we can work something out. And then as the day went on and you continued to follow the bouncing ball, about an hour later after I tweeted that out, Jeff McClain, Enquirer.com, of course, said they could be working on that Fletcher Cox deal. Not the Fletcher Cox deal that he ended up signing, and we'll get to that, but I'm talking about the end around play that they ran with Fletcher Cox last year where they let him go and then they brought him back. And sure enough, 11:05 last night, Darius Slay announces that he is staying here in Philadelphia. So, well, what does this all mean? Now, to get to what does it all mean, we do have to acknowledge the Fletcher Cox deal, which was put out there yesterday by Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter saying 6-time Pro Bowler. And defensive tackle Fletcher Cox returning to Philadelphia on a 1-year, $10 million deal per sources. So that's $4 million less than he took last year. Adam Schefter terms that as the hometown discount. as he turned down more lucrative offers. Here's what I know. Jennifer Williams, and she loves Philadelphia. That's what I know. Okay, we've seen her at tailgates. So everybody knows she loves Philadelphia. And Fletcher Cox's girl is from Philly. She's a Philly girl. So maybe he's made a lot of money in his career. Maybe it's of his best interest to stay here in Philadelphia for personal reasons. And you know what? I'm fine with that. But now what does it all mean? James Bradberry stays as your CB2. Darius Slay stays as your CB1. You at least have Reed Blankenship as a safety. Fletcher Cox stays on your defensive line on your interior. You still have Jordan Davis. Brandon Graham stays. Hassan Reddick stays, of course. Josh Sweat stays, of course. How do you... Now, wait a minute. So Slay, Bradberry, Cox, Graham, and Jason Kelsey on the offense side. Can't forget about that money spent in the offseason, okay? But all these guys, 5 guys that are returning, you're still going to make a big old deal there for the Jalen Hurts fella. And on top of it all, CD News. Let's get crazy here. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Howie Roseman is a beautiful genius. He's a beautiful craftsman of salary capology. Okay? That's what Howie Roseman is. You couldn't possibly, you couldn't possibly keep Slay, Bradberry, Cox, Graham, James Kelsey on the offensive side, and CD News? No. That's not. No. He's going to do it, folks. Howie's going to do it. I don't know how it's possible. I am nowhere near the cap expert of a Howie Roseman, as one would expect. I'm not. If he possibly finds a way to keep Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in the Eagles secondary, if he somehow magically can do that, just don't even bother having a conversation about executive of the year for next year. It's Howie Roseman. If he somehow is able to do that and keep the other members of this defense together the way he has, holy pots and pans, ladies and gentlemen. Holy pots and pans. Just give him the executive of the year already. After I saw the Fletcher Cox deal, I thought, it's so much for Slay. Imagine being Slay and be like, no, they don't want to give me a new deal. They don't want to pay me long term, whatever, but they're giving this guy $10 million. Yeah, that's no bueno. And then they still bring him back, which is amazing. And the money doesn't count for this year, supposedly. What? And then they still sign Chauncey Gardner. How is that possible? Howie Roseman will find a way. Nature finds a way. I am ecstatic. When I woke up this morning and I saw that Darius Slay was staying here in Philadelphia, I can't remember the last time I was that giddy over a signing. Over a signing that I thought there was a 50-50 chance of him staying here when the season ended after the Super Bowl. I look at the roster. All right, what happens here? All right, when it comes to the defense, I think Howie's going to find a way to keep CD Deuce. I think he's going to find a way to keep, I thought it would be Javon Hargrave staying here. Then the Deron Payne deal nixed that. And I thought, no way he's staying here. He's not going to get money here in Philadelphia like that. But I really thought a good amount. I was more optimistic about guys staying here in Philadelphia than most. How do you do it? Howie does it. Simple as that. I'm blown away so far. And if he can find a way to keep Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, I am going to be imagine still like there are people that still hate Howie Roseman. There are people that still think this is dumb luck, and there's still a lot of haters out there when it comes to Howie. How could you possibly be a hater if he finds it? Well, first off, just keeping what he has kept so far defensively, and you still have 2 first-round draft picks, by the way, to add to this roster. How could you still be a hater of Howie if he's able to bring back Chauncey Gardner-Johnson? Yesterday, I said all throughout the show, we could hear about a restructure for Lane Johnson. We could hear about a restructure from Darius Slay. We could hear about Darius Slay being released or traded. We could hear about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. We could hear about Jalen Hurts' contract. And as it turns out, we heard about Fletcher Cox. We heard about Darius Slay. And those are 2 great things to hear about. As far as everything else goes, you could hear the two big pieces of information today. I don't think the deal for Jalen Hurts gets announced until you get a deal done with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, or a deal or not. And I do think Jalen Hurts is in on this conversation. I do think Jalen Hurts and his agent are in on this conversation when it comes to the money that is going to be left over. And it's weird to say that left over for your franchise quarterback, but for the money that the Eagles will be able to work out for the upcoming season to make sure that it all comes together. Not just the upcoming season, especially if you're deferring money, essentially, to simplify things, to oversimplify things. If you're deferring money to future years with Darius Slay, then you're also going to be having money deferred, or you're also going to be impacting the money of Jalen Hurts in the upcoming seasons as well. So there's a lot that goes into this, as we all know. It's not just about this year and this year's cap. It's also about what you guys are going to be doing, what the Eagles are going to be doing next year as well. So there's a lot to follow here when you try to follow the bouncing ball through all of this. So it could be today, but I don't think we see anything announced with Jalen Hurts' contract until we see what happens with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. That's the way I think this ends up getting worked out. I am amazed. I am thrilled. I am excited. And I do want to wish Miles Sanders a very happy 4 years, $25 million in Carolina with the Panthers. He'll be playing for Frank Reich, but more importantly, more notably, he'll be playing for, once again, our man, Deuce Staley, his former running back coach here in Philadelphia. So, Miles Sanders, congratulations on a 4-year, $25 million deal. I think he'll do great things in Carolina. I think he'll do great things under Deuce Staley. Nice to see those two reunited again there, or reunited in Carolina. So that's a pretty incredible day we had there yesterday. I was glued, absolutely glued to the phone yesterday. I was doing some house projects, had the NFL Network on, had ESPN on, was stopping a couple projects here and there, scrolling through the phone. Had the notifications going off. At one point, my wife had to get on my phone for a second. And I go, whatever you do, don't touch the Twitter notifications. And she's like, what? What do you want? What's on Twitter? Like, immediately she goes to something like that. And I go, NFL free agency, NFL free agency. And she's like, okay, fine. It's like 89 notifications. But I was worried sick. I wouldn't be able to just scroll through them after I was peeling wallpaper off a wall. But it was just an amazing day. Absolutely amazing day yesterday. And I couldn't be more excited with the way that it ended because I thought it was going to end with the 76ers just getting a nice little win there over the Cleveland Cavaliers, and boy, did they. But how it really ended, unbeknownst to me, because I was already tucked away in bed, Darius Slay staying with the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's jump on over to here's what I'm going to ask you guys in the chat. Do you think Chauncey Gardner-Johnson stays in Philadelphia as well? Do you think Chauncey Gardner-Johnson stays in Philadelphia as well? Is Howie truly a mystical wizard when it comes to the salary cap? That's what I want you to tell me. Do you have faith that he will sign today? Let's flip on over to the 76ers. Hey, remember that pesky little schedule the Sixers are going to have in the second half? There was going to be post-All-Star break where it was 26 games left, and the Sixers, we weren't sure what the hell they were going to do and how it was the toughest schedule in the NBA. Remember that little thing? They're 8-3. Ladies and gentlemen, they're 8-3 into those 12 games into the 26 games after the All-Star break. In the toughest schedule in the NBA, the Sixers are 8-3. That's a pretty damn good. And I understand you look at the schedule now. You're at Cleveland, you're at Charlotte, you're at Indy. Then you host Chicago, then you go to Chicago, then you're on the road for 3 more. It's a toughest schedule that the Sixers got. I understand. But they're kicking ass right now. And Joel Embiid is right there kicking ass and taking names with everybody else, as is James Harden and Tyrese Maxey, especially last night. One hell of a game. The Sixers last night came away with a 118-109 win. And with about 4:20, looking at you, Mally, left of the game last night, 4:13 left of the game last night, Sixers are up 7 points, 108-101. Joel Embiid is just crushing on both ends of the court, scoring, blocking shots, making things happen for the Sixers. They're getting huge runouts out of what he's able to do on the court. And he's at the top of the key, or he's at the foul line, puts his shoulder down, drops a member of the Cavaliers. They call the offensive foul on Joel Embiid. His 6th of the game, he fouls out. At least it appears. Doc Rivers immediately challenges the call. Puts his finger up in the air, says, no, we're going to challenge that. The refs challenge it. The refs review it, and they overturned the call. I'm shocked to her that they overturned the call. What ended up happening was that the Cleveland Cavaliers player, I thought, flopped. I thought there was contact, but I thought he embellished it to the point of a foul, an infraction, I should say. And that's, I believe, what overturned the call. Yes, there was contact. Yes, there was hard contact. The defender wasn't at all established, or Joel Embiid was he was moving in the path of Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid dropped his shoulder, hit him, and then he flopped. And I think that's ultimately what saved Joel Embiid in the process. After the game, now, at that point, the Cavs had been hanging around because the Sixers had an ungodly amount of turnovers in this game. And they end up taking control of the game from that point on and winning 118-109. Doc Rivers, after the game, talked about that play where he said, okay, you know what? It's time to challenge. Let's challenge. Are we not getting audio? Was that not audio? Try one more time. Damn it! Doc said after the game, I don't know why that's happening. It happened yesterday, too. Doc said after the game that he didn't even look back at his review guy. The guy that tells him, oh, yeah, you should challenge that. He just put his finger in the air. Yep, no, we're gonna challenge that play. And it turned out being a huge momentum shift to the game, because if the Sixers go out there without Joel Embiid for the final 4 minutes of the game, that's a huge problem. Even with James Harden, even with Tyrese Maxey, even with all that and the way the Sixers are playing, and George Niang hit you a couple threes as well, all that. Even with that, it's a huge worry because the Sixers probably weren't able to close that game out. With the way it was going, is with the turnovers in that game, Joel Embiid himself had 6. James Harden had 4, which, again, is uncharacteristic of him. Maxey had 3. You're lucky to get the 11 points off the bench that you got from Shake Milton in that particular game. But throughout this game, it was the Sixers starting 5 that was absolutely dominating this game. You have P.J. Tucker out there. He's a plus 22 on the day. Joel Embiid was a plus 15 on the day. Tobias Harris was plus 17. Harden was a plus 16. But your starters were just dominating this game. Anytime you had to put somebody in that was a bench player other than Shake Milton, there was devastation. Let's just say there was devastation. And even with about 2 minutes left in the game, it was a 3-point game. Tyrese Maxey steps up, hits a 3, puts you up 6, and then you really put the win in your back pocket. But again, that's with Joel Embiid on the court for the rest of that game. He leaves at the, 4:18 mark of the fourth quarter. You probably don't close this one out, and you probably don't get your 46th win of the season. And you also don't get, and now I know I've said I don't care about this, but it's definitely a story, and if it's a story, I have to address it. Joel Embiid has now become the favorite to win MVP by a lot of sportsbooks. Not every sportsbook. I think Caesars still has Joker as the favorite, but I know you have it at Parks right there as Joel Embiid is the favorite. I think Sportsbet also has Joel Embiid as the favorite. Caesars Sportsbook does not, unfortunately. But look at this. Getting this from our friend Scott Van Pelt. On Sunday evening, Nikola Jokic was minus 360. He was the minus 360 favorite to be the MVP. That's 360, okay? Joel Embiid plus 280. Now, Joker goes from 360 to just 110, a minus 110 favorite to win MVP. Joel Embiid goes from an incredible plus 280 to a plus 110 to win the MVP. So as of right now, Joker's still the favorite. And in case you're wondering, Giannis is plus 275. That's from Caesars Sportsbook. So a lot of people trying to get in on that right now. But for the life of me, I just can't figure out how in God's name you can look at Joel Embiid and say he's not the MVP. And I saw Tim Legler break this down with SVP this morning as well. And this is a common argument for why Embiid should win. Defensively, They don't win this game last night without Joel Embiid. Offensively, certainly you don't win this game without Joel Embiid. But defensively, with the way he came up in this game, he had 4 block shots, including one particular play. I think it was in the second quarter. He had 2 blocks on one play. Blocked the one shot. Cavs kept control of it. Get another shot up. He blocks that shot. That's bonkers, man. That is bonkers. And that's the way he plays every single night. And you want to look at that guy and say he's not the MVP? You want to look at a guy like Joker and go, well, he's got a lot of assists. Stop it. I've said it before on the show. I'll say it again. I've never seen Joel Embiid improve as the season has gone on. It seems like he's getting stronger as the year goes on. Usually it's like, oh, God, is he wearing down? Joel Embiid is getting better and better and better and better and better and better and better as the season has gone on. And you mean to tell me that there's a chance he couldn't win the MVP this year? Look, for me, the ultimate is just get out of the second round, please. Get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Get to the NBA Finals. But an MVP award would be nice. It would be nice for Joel Embiid, and I think he has earned it this year. And he's getting stronger and stronger while the Denver Nuggets and Nikola Jokic are getting weaker and weaker and weaker. So it's crunch time. That's when your most valuable player has to step up on any team. And he's the guy stepping up right now for the 76ers as they're making their run. Unfortunately, last night, the Celtics did win, so the Sixers are still a game behind the Celtics in the standings for the second playoff seed in the Eastern Conference standings. But that's where we are right now. I am absolutely blown away by what you saw with the 76ers last night. And I know it's a easy thing to go to when we look at the Sixers and say, well, what does it all mean, as we were just doing an NFL free agency? What does it all mean now for Howie Roseman on the Eagles? Well, what does a win like this mean for the Sixers? You should beat the Cavs. They're another playoff contending team, but you should beat the Cavs. There were a couple instances in this game where there was a lot of concern about whether or not they would win. Is this just going to be an off night? Are the turnovers going to be too much of an impact on the Sixers game? The 18 turnovers that they had in this game compared to just the 10 of the Cavaliers. And they just found a way to keep on coming. James Harden got hot in the third quarter, came up with a few assists, really got the ball rolling for the Sixers in that regard. And then Joel Embiid helped close it out by being able to stay on the court thanks to Doc Rivers' successful challenge. And then also Tyrese Maxey stepping up big. 5 threes in the game, I believe, is what you got from Maxey last night. 5 threes from him, 3 threes from James Harden. 2 from the big man, Joel Embiid, who was 10 for 10 from the free throw line as well. Great for the 76ers. They're now going to take the off day. They're going to travel to Charlotte to take on the Hornets for a 7 o'clock tip-off tomorrow night. Let me jump back to the NFL for a second here because I'm absolutely blown. Oh, no, one more note on the Sixers. Miss Guzzi. The Sixers are an NBA best 34-10 since December 9th. They were 12-12 before that. So 2 weeks before Christmas, the Sixers were a 500 team, and since then have only lost 10 games. That's pretty damn good. That's just a little note I wanted to throw in there. Aaron Rodgers. Can we talk about Aaron Rodgers for just a second here? Aaron Rodgers is one of my favorite quarterbacks ever to watch. I just absolutely love his game. He is turning the NFL into the NBA. This doesn't happen. Like, people have made the comparison of Tom Brady going to Tampa and then them winning, like him making them competitive and winning, and that's fine. But it's like guys wanted to go there to play for him because he's Tom freaking Brady. Gronk wanted to come out of retirement and play with Tom Brady. Shocking, okay? Guys want to go play with Tom Brady. But the idea of Tom Brady negotiating with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers saying, if you want me there, go sign these guys is like that didn't happen. It didn't go down like that. It just happened to happen that way. This Aaron Rodgers deal and him going on the Pat McAfee show yesterday and saying openly, as still, I hate this term, but the property of the Green Bay Packers, him saying openly, oh yeah, my intention is to play with the Jets and now they're just trying to figure out the compensation. Okay. All right. Trey Wingo, credit to Trey Wingo. He pointed that out 2 days prior. So good for him and being on top of that one. It's like LeBron either going to the Heat. It's like LeBron either going to LA and making the talent come to him and all that stuff. Anthony Davis recruiting him. It's like the NBA where they recruit players all the time. Yeah, it happens in the NFL in some cases where you're trying to recruit a buddy of yours to come play in Philly or whatever city you're in. But for it to go down like this in this matter, you now have Aaron Rodgers acting as the GM of the New York Jets. Step aside Joe Douglas. Aaron Rodgers is running the show now. And you know what? If you're the New York Jets, if you're a New York Jets fan, I think you're fine with it. Yes, let somebody else come in here and tell us how to do things. Let a 4-time MVP, a future Hall of Famer, a Super Bowl champion, let him come on down. Let's see you run the organization for us. Please and thank you. And then I love this. And they're still sold on Zach Wilson. They still love them some Zach Wilson, ladies and gentlemen. And they're now thinking, oh, man, imagine having Aaron Rodgers here. Put his arm around Zach Wilson. Teach Zach Wilson. Oh, listen, this is how you practice. This is how you run a team, fella. Yeah, okay. Because we all know the Jordan Love thing. That was all hunky-dory, right? That was all beautiful. I admire it in a way. I love when the inmates get to run the asylum, as the old phrase goes. I love that. Like when the boss when the boss has to be subservient, submissive to the employee, I love that stuff. I adore it. And right now, Aaron Rodgers is doing that to the New York Jets. If you're a Jets fan, you got to be excited about it. I know, but who does he think he is? And why are the Jets coddling to Aaron Rodgers? Because Aaron Rodgers knows more about winning than the New York Jets. That's why. And he's also still pretty damn good. They also get Lazard in there already. Oh, man. Did somebody – who was it that somebody was joking about? It was McAfee. He's like, I want Jordy Nelson off the farm, and I want him back playing football. That is hilarious. And then Adam Schefter also getting the tweet response from Aaron Rodgers about, lose my number. Nice try, though, about trying to confirm reports about him going to the Jets. Good times. Let me tell you about the great people at Steven Singer. Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut. Right there on Jewelers Row. For over 40 years, Steven's been in the love business in Philadelphia, helping people get engaged and fall in love. Steven Singer Jewelers is home of the perfect price. Now, what's the perfect price? The perfect price is something incredible. The perfect price, ladies and gentlemen, is something that you could trust Steven Singer with. Steven Singer, at the other corner of 8th and Walnut, doesn't want you walking in there thinking to yourself, oh, man, how am I going to haggle? How am I going to negotiate and all that stuff? No pressure. You're already getting at that perfect price. Whatever you got to work for and argue for and haggle for at another jeweler, it's already marked down to that price. You're good to go. You're set with the perfect price each and every day. Steven Singer Jewelers, one place, one price, the perfect price. April, I see your comment now. Thank you. Online at IHateStevenSinger.com. I was hoping to avoid that, but the no audio threw a loop in that one. There you go. Let me tell you about Manscaped. Manscaped.com. 20% off and free shipping at Manscaped.com. Now, what's Manscaped? What makes them so special? Skin-safe technology. So that when you order their Platinum Package 4.0, which includes their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, or their Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, you can know that they come with skin-safe technology that helps reduce the risk of nicks, so you can manscape with confidence and comfort. So that's what you can look at right there with the great people at Manscaped. How about Freestone Farm CBD? FreestoneFarmCBD.com. Get 20% off with promo code Farzy at Manscaped, at Freestone Farms CBD, FreestoneFarmCBD.com. You'll enjoy their tropical tasting Bayox that clocks in at a chart-topping 24.1%, and Super CBD, which is half Hindu, Kush, and 21%. Genetics for these guys are off the charts. So check out Freestone Farm CBD at FreestoneFarmCBD.com. How about the amazing people at PHL Sports Station, Philadelphia Sports Station, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs? That's PHLSportsStation.com. Before we get to the chat, I got to give a shout out to our man Ari out there in St. Louis. Ari for April and T-Bro and everyone. He was at our party during Thanksgiving, during a Wednesday night party night before Thanksgiving. Dan Schwartz, of course, was there as well. Ari was one of the people in the chat. And I referenced yesterday the game before the Eagles took on the San Diego Chargers, where I was making the point about Brian Westbrook and Miles Sanders both being underused in the run game while being here in Philadelphia. And I said that before a particular game against the Chargers in Philly, the talk was Brian Westbrook versus LaDainian Tomlinson. And could Brian Westbrook get the amount of yards LaDainian Tomlinson would get if Andy Reid used him like an actual running back? And the whole week, it was like, oh, hell yeah. And Brian Westbrook was basically like, yes, of course I could, that kind of thing. But Ari looked this up, and credit to him. He went back and found the game. The Eagles actually ended up winning that game. What I forgot about was how the Eagles defense dominated LaDainian Tomlinson in that game. Now, this is 2005, so it wasn't exactly the best season that the Eagles have ever had. That was actually a rough season. But LaDainian Tomlinson in this particular game rushed the ball 17 times for 7 yards. The Eagles defense spanked him. Drew Brees, who was the quarterback, oh my God, I'm so old. Drew Brees was the quarterback of the Chargers in this game. He had the longest run of the game. He broke off one run for 9 yards. And that was the longest run. LaDainian Tomlinson, his longest run was 7 yards on 17 carries. He had 7 yards total. His longest run was 7 yards, and he had 17 carries. He did have 4 catches for 26 yards. Holy pots and pans. Holy pots and pans. Let's get to the chat check. See how you beautiful people are doing on this fine, fine day. T-Bro, Slay is back. DJ. What's up, DJ? Slay is back. Howie is a menace. He is a menace. What else we got here? Morning. So excited to have Slay back, says April. Hopefully he goes even harder because he feels like he needs to prove himself. Here's what was funny about that, April. On that note, Jennifer Williams, Slay's wife, said she kept the receipt. So apparently Slay gets released, quote unquote. So everything's set to be a June 1st cut. So I'm thinking, why are we doing anything even now? And then she says she keeps the receipts of the people that came out after Slay was cut saying this was the right move, or Slay's not that good anyway, Slay's terrible, blah, blah, blah. And she's just right there saying, yeah, okay. I'll keep all these receipts. See you at the tailgate. Travis, what's up, Travis? We're like 20 free agents. We were like 20 free agents to sign. We're screwed. That's what it felt like earlier. Kevin, hello. Good morning. Team USA in Venezuela. What time's that game today there, PJ? Do you know what time that game is? Is it Venezuela? What the hell was I thinking? Where's my notes? Yeah, USA, Venezuela. And then Italy pulled Japan. That's fun. That'll be fun. Yeah, USA, Venezuela try to advance to the semifinals. Puerto Rico and Mexico in the World Baseball Classic. And then Italy and Japan. Italy and their Nespresso machine. Yes, I have seen the Nespresso machine. Many people have sent me the Nespresso machine. I was surprised to see that the Italians would have a Nespresso machine and not, I think I told you guys this before, and not just a regular espresso machine. And then I heard Mike Piazza, Norristown's own Mike Piazza, he brought the Nespresso machine. So I was like, maybe that's a Metagon thing. I don't know. Anyway. Mike Fuji, is there any more news on CD Deuce possibly resigning? And not yet, but good morning to you. Travis, Brandon Graham, Brandon Graham, Jason Kelsey, James Bradbury, Rashad Penny, Fletcher Cox, Boston Scott, Slay stays 2, and probably CJGJ. That's what I'm crossing my fingers for, Travis. Is there any more? No. If CD Deuce stays in the nest. At this point, it's like, how does he not? Because you wouldn't be announcing these deals already. And no news about CJGJ, that means they're still working on it. And by the way, he went back. Remember those things I referenced yesterday about him in a Bengals uniform and all that stuff? He went and deleted that job. Considering... Oh, T-Bro. What's up, T-Bro? JoJo is on another level right now. He's finally been great to watch. Oh, it's finally been great to watch the Sixers again. Toby is ice cold, though. Yeah, Toby ain't looking too hot. Defensively speaking, he is. Oh, my God. That corner three that he took, Sixers missed their first attempt. They get the rebound immediately. 14 seconds, fresh on the clock, and he just gets that ball in the corner and just lets it rip. And I'm like, no, you have plenty of time. You have time to kill. Why are you doing that? I think it was a 3-point game at the time. Travis, considering CJ, oh, yeah, his ellipses tweet. I think he means there are no other teams out there better than the Eagles locker room right now. He gets to call Bradbury again. He'll definitely sign if someone returns his car. Wow. I forgot he got his car stolen. April, we got audio of the nose blowing. I'm sorry. Miss Scoozy. Yeah. I don't know what it is. The vast majority of my career has been in the morning, and I still have like morning allergies. It's the weirdest thing. I don't understand. Sean Gillespie, Embiid deserves to win, but hoping he wins and the Sixers make the finals. Yes, all that and more, please. April, the tweet from Rodgers to Shefty was a mess. That was hilarious. Absolutely love seeing that. And I love the fact that Adam Schefter just put it out there, too. I love that he had enough of a sense of humor. Like some guys would ask the question or try to hit up the athlete, and the athlete would shoot him down, and then they'd cower in a corner somewhere. Shefty has the presence of mind and sense of humor to go, oh, this is funny, and put that out there into the stratosphere. I think that's awesome. And I am amazed. I forget who it was. Was it Golick Jr.? Who the hell was it? Was it Orlovsky that put it out there saying, I'm shocked that Adam Schefter only had 4 unread text messages? Whoever it was, I was in the same realm. Whoever it was, they said they always pictured Adam Schefter having like triple digits in unread text messages. Not Shefty. Shefty stays on top of it. Probably because that's Shefty's source's phone, and then his other phone is just the one he gives out to the randos. I love Rodgers, but Brady works miracles with his teammates. He was able to stabilize AB briefly. 2 for Rodgers. 70 was a mess. Mike Fuji, Kush, damn right. CJ, even one no come playoffs. Oh, everyone no. I think that is. Embiid will be hurt. Gee, thanks, CJ or KC. Nice to have you. Mihai, what's up, Mihai? Morning market, everyone. I'm sad Miles is gone, but got Slay back after all. How we did the same with Cox last year. By the way, watch Rodgers follow the Favre tradition and join the Vikings in 2024. It's possible. It's possible. As my mind drifted, everyone knows it's the second time that a longtime Packers quarterback, Hall of Fame Packers quarterback, is going to go play for the Jets. All right, Brett Favre being the first. Do you think when Aaron Rodgers was making all these demands about, oh, yeah, you want me? You got to sign these other guys. Do you think you got to make me GM, basically? Do you think the Jets in return were like, okay, look, we've been down this road before, so we're going to protect ourselves a little bit here. If you do come play here, and if we do make all these acquisitions, please do not send any pictures of your genitalia to anyone on the staff. Please and thank you. Sign the New York Jets. Just maybe. Just maybe. That's a fun story for the kids to Google later. Anyway. Was Jen Sturger her name? Wait, what's going on here? What up, Farley? Did I miss a Farley reference here? What up, Farley? You grab Jalen Carter at 10, if there, or grab a cornerback. Thoughts? I think they grab a corner for 2 reasons. I think there's great corners still available, or not still available, but there's great corners available. And I think they're still pretty stacked in the edge rush department. I know best player available is the strategy here, but I got to think with the money situation, they're going to need a corner, I think, before they need an edge rusher. I thought the same thing. No way he only has 4 unread text messages on the main phone. I agree. Travis talking about I did see Jalen Carter's pro day. Like, you get to watch a specimen of a human being just look like a specimen of a human being. I mean, you already know he's great. You already know wherever he's going to go, he's going to make a huge impact. But yeah, I'm pretty blown away with what I saw. Travis, Howie, magic in disguise. It certainly seems like it. That's for sure. Thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys are great as per usual. Morning Rush. Sixers back at it tomorrow night against the Charlotte Hornets. They'll go for their 9th win post All-Star break, improved to 9-3 since the All-Star break. As for the Flyers, two things on the Flyers that I find to be rather unfortunate. Well, the Flyers have lost 4 in a row now. They lost to the Golden Knights the other night, 5-3. They're back at it tomorrow night as well. They're going to be hosting the Buffalo Sabres in South Philadelphia. I hated seeing this story, but I do have to bring it up. Danny Briere, as of right now, has his ultimate post-career job. Interim GM of the Philadelphia Flyers. Been in the holding pattern for a couple of years there in the Flyers front office. I believe it's 2 days after he gets the interim tag. 2 days after he gets slapped with the GM tasks. He has the biggest opportunity of his post-playing career. His son, Carson Briere, is caught on surveillance camera at a bar around his college, Mercyhurst College, in Erie, Pennsylvania. And he's seen, I guess, with a friend walking up the stairs. There's a wheelchair at the top of the stairs. And Carson Briere decides to, with his friend, push the wheelchair with no one in it down the stairs. They're walking up the stairs from apparently the bathrooms down there at this particular establishment. They walk up the stairs, see the wheelchair. They kind of hover around it for a second. Carson Briere sits in the chair for a second, gets up. He and his friend pick the chair up, and they push it down the stairs. The reason it was at the top of the stairs is because a handicapped female had to be carried down the steps to go to the facilities, and I assume they were going to carry her back up, put her in the chair. I mean, what? I've had some stupid thoughts while I've been drinking, and I can only assume that's what was going on at the bar. I've had stupid thoughts. I'll keep it more general while I've been out and about. Okay. I don't know what passes through anyone's brain to make them go, hey, here's a good idea. Let's push a wheelchair down a flight of stairs. That'll be fun. And then let's go back to the party, which is exactly what happens. Since then, the Flyers have issued a statement. Briere's issued a statement. Danny Briere's issued a statement. And Carson Briere's issued a statement of apology. Just, you put yourself in Danny Briere's shoes for a second, who had nothing to do with this incident. You get this great opportunity, and immediately following this great opportunity, you get this tarnish on the moment with your son acting like a damn idiot. Yeah. Despicable. Absolutely despicable. I give credit to Danny Briere, and I do give credit to the Flyers for addressing it and not being like, oh, yeah, we're trying to gather more information. No, we got it. And sometimes people will try to play that card like, oh, well, it's an unfortunate situation. We're trying to find out more about. No, this is pretty cut and dry. Ridiculous. Mercyhurst came out and they also said the same thing. They're sorry that it happened. It doesn't reflect their values at the college, university, and all that stuff. So it's at the university. It's a wildly unfortunate scene. And I do give credit, actually. I'm not big on, there's a video of somebody, let's put it out on social media. I do give credit to the person that did put it out there. And they even said, I don't tweet this stuff, but this is just disgusting. And it was disgusting. Sometimes people need to be called on their BS to realize how stupid they were. And this might be one of those situations. Side note, damn, it looked like a great party in that bar. I mean, I've seen the video now 100 times. I look into the bar. I'm like, damn, it looks like a great party. I remember parties like that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show, presented by Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. One place, one price, perfect price online at IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. I'll try to get this. Oh, Sean from the Silly Squad. What's up, Sean? Nice to have you. It is almost time, Dusty, for Phillies baseball. I'm excited. Scott Kingery having himself a hell of a spring. How about that? We'll get into that tomorrow a little bit. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. Jim Hyde produced the program. Did a wonderful job. This is a Buzz Sports Entertainment production. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday, everybody. Talk to you guys tomorrow. See you.